The Joint Awami Action Committee's strike in Azad Jammu and Kashmir entered its third day on Sunday, halting life in Muzaffarabad as shops and transport shut down. Protesters marched towards the capital from various areas, despite government roadblocks, leading to clashes and injuries. Internet services were disrupted and paramilitary rangers were deployed to secure key sites. The strike, driven by a 10-point charter of demands, has caused widespread disruption. Despite government promises to address demands, talks remained inconclusive, prompting the protests to continue, in light of which the government offices and educational institutions remain closed on Monday. Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Mohammad Ishaq Dar will visit China from May 13th to 16th for the fifth round of the China-Pakistan Foreign Ministers' Strategic Dialogue. Invited by Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi, Dar's visit aims to enhance strategic communication, deepen cooperation, and upgrade the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Finance Minister Mohammad Aurangzeb emphasized the need for privatization, stating there are no strategic state-owned enterprises at a pre-budget conference in Lahore. Aurangzeb highlighted plans to digitize the tax collection system to broaden the tax base and integrate the undocumented economy. Formal discussions with the IMF will begin soon, focusing on energy, tax-to-tax GDP ratio, and SOE reforms. The IMF mission has begun talks with Pakistan's Ministry of Finance, including key officials. Progress was made, agreeing on no loans from the state bank next year, timely external payments, tax refunds, improved reserves, and issuing bonds. They also agreed to lift import and international transaction bans. Discussions will continue for about 2 weeks, focusing on a new loan program and the upcoming budget. Over 9,844 Hajj pilgrims have arrived in Medina under the government scheme. Since May 9th, around 40 flights from major Pakistani cities have transported the pilgrims for their Hajj journey. Starting May 17th, these pilgrims will head to Makkah after an 8-day stay. The Ministry of Religious Affairs has made extensive arrangements, including training sessions, transportations, meals, and healthcare facilities. 2 hospitals in Medina and Makkah, staffed with 66 doctors and paramedics, provide free medical care. Pakistan levelled the T20 series against Ireland with a 7-wicket victory. Chasing 194 runs, Rizwan and Fakhar's record 140-run partnership powered Pakistan, with Rizwan scoring 75 and Fakhar hitting 78 runs. Despite early setbacks, they reached the target in the 17th over. Ireland's Tector scored 51 runs, helping them post 193 over 7 wickets. The decider for the series is set for April 14. In Gaza, makeshift schools are emerging amid the ongoing conflict. Students take classes in tents, connect online from abroad, or receive help from professors in Europe. Despite schools being bombed or turned into shelters, Gazans are determined to continue their education, with volunteers like Asma Al-Astal teaching at a tent school near Khan Yunis. The conflict has severely damaged Gaza's education system, affecting over 625,000 children and 90,000 university students. Israel's military operations in Rafah have forced all main hospitals to shut down, worsening the humanitarian crisis. Over 1 million displaced Palestinians in Rafah face shortages of water, food, and medical care. The Najr and Kuwait hospitals are out of operation due to the intensified conflict. The UN has warned of increased civilian casualties. Voting began in India's Kashmir Valley, West Bengal, and Bihar for the 4th phase of the 7-week general election. Nearly 1 billion people are eligible to vote, with counting set for June 4th. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's BJP seeks a third term, facing an opposition alliance led by Congress. On Monday, 177 million people will be voting for 96 seats across 10 states, with many in southern and eastern regions, where BJP's presence is weaker. Russia continues its offensive in the Kharkiv region, claiming control of 4 settlements and destroying multiple Ukrainian helicopters and MiG-29 aircraft. Russian air defense intercepted 36 drones and 8 tactical missiles. Ukrainian President Zelensky confirmed ongoing defensive battles and counterattacks, noting extreme difficulties in Vovchansk due to Russian artillery. Despite the challenges, Ukrainian forces aim to inflict maximum damage on Russian troops. Heavy rain in Indonesia's West Sumatra province caused floods and landslides, leaving at least 31 dead, 15 missing, and over 40 injured. Major roads were damaged, homes destroyed, and streets blocked by debris. The Disaster Management Agency reported 84 damaged homes and 16 affected bridges, deploying heavy equipment to clear roads. MotoGP leader George Martin of Pramac Racing won the French Grand Prix, completing a weekend double. Gresini Ducati's Marc Marquez finished second with a final lap overtake of reigning champion Francesco Bagnaia. Martin's victory moved him up to 129 points, while Bagnaia is second, 38 points behind. Marquez's consistency placed him third in the standings. Martin praised his team for the perfect bike setup, celebrating 2 wins at Le Mans. A Chinese self-driving startup's unmanned minibus, RoboBus, is set to operate in Turin, providing short-distance transportation. Developed by PIX Moving, the vehicle will partner with Italian company Tecnogad. PIX Moving has already obtained the necessary licenses from Turin's authorities and exported a RoboBus model to Italy for field tests. The fully electric minibus, lacking traditional bus components, can carry 6 passengers and has a range of 100 to 130 kilometers per charge. RoboBus will also operate in countries including Spain, Japan, the US, and India. The Pakistan Crescent Collective, led by filmmaker Muhammad Ali Naqvi, will present Pakistan at the Cannes Film Festival 2024. The collective, comprising professionals from Karachi, London, New York, and Los Angeles, aims to promote Pakistani films globally. Naqvi emphasized the importance of such initiatives to support Pakistani cinema. The collective's program includes a filmmaker panel and the screening of Usman Riaz's The Glass Worker, Pakistan's first 2D hand-painted film. They will also co-host the launch of the South Asian Film Market and a networking event for filmmakers to pitch projects to financiers. Taylor Swift resumed her Eras Tour in Paris on May 9th, debuting new songs from her latest album, The Tortured Poets Department. She introduced a segment called Female Rage the Musical, with 7 new tracks including So High School and I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. Swift expressed gratitude to her fans and crew on Instagram. This tour leg features new choreography, costumes, and graphics, sparking fan speculation about a possible musical adaptation. The first leg of the tour broke records, surpassing $1 billion in revenue.